So AMD did a thing and everyone's talking about it. And actually there's a lot of news to talk about. You know, we've got some more information on the support for Zen 3 as well as the new chipsets. And I think this is something that's actually kind of intriguing from AMD. They've been on the AM4 platform now for several generations. I think it's been, what, 3 different generations of Ryzen chips. And not even counting their economy processors and things of that nature, but it's been something that has been kind of a staple in AMD for a while. Everybody's used to the AM4 platform, and everybody's been using these sockets for quite a while. So to not go to a new socket, but to drop support on boards that are still relatively current is kind of shocking to a lot of people. But you know, AMD may have a good reason to do it, they may not have a good reason to do it, but whatever their decision is, how it's going to affect them is actually what we're talking about. When the 10th generation Intel was announced and we found out it's going on a new socket, this seemed like a really silly decision because, you know, we have DDR5 right around the corner, and that's inevitably going to need a new socket. So this Intel move is literally going to be a single generation on one socket, and then they're going to have to go to something completely new. So being that they're behind right now with AMD, it seemed like a silly decision for them to go to a whole new socket right now. But you know, they did what they did. So when it comes to AMD, it seemed like a perfect opportunity for AMD to capitalize on that and release their new generation on their same old platform, which they did. It's the AM4 platform. It's just not using the most popular chipset, the 400 series chipset. So what's going to happen is the Zen 3 processors, it looks like, are only going to be supported on the 500 series chipsets. And so people using the 400 series or 300 series aren't going to be able to use the new Zen 3 processors. And there's some downsides, and I guess there's some positives to this too. So, you know, if we look at it from the downsides, you know, you have, you know, 2 new platforms of processors coming out, and, you know, you have Intel, where you need a motherboard and a CPU if you want to upgrade, or you have AMD, which you can upgrade with just the processor. But now, by including a motherboard, you know, you're kind of putting yourself on an even scale. So, you know, unfortunately, you're not able to capitalize on the fact that you need a motherboard with the Intel side. You're going to need a motherboard with the AMD side too, unless you already have the 500 series, which, you know, a lot of people do. So, but, you know, on the positive note is, I think the benefit this can give us is that it is going to make PCI Express 4.0 a lot more common. So if that happens, then it should bring the price of PCI 4 storage and things of that nature down, because more manufacturers are going to make those storage devices, because now there's going to be more people that have, you know, the 500 series chipsets. So from that standpoint, I guess that's a good thing. So I guess, you know, either way, it depends. You know, am I going to upgrade? I don't know, honestly. I've got a 3600 right now, and I actually kind of like it. It's a great processor, does everything I need. So I don't know if I'm going to upgrade to the new platform or not. I may, and if I do, I'll buy a motherboard, so it's not that big of a deal. But the thing that actually kind of shocked me a little bit is the fact that the 500 series chipsets aren't going to support Zen Plus and below. So all the Ryzen 1 and Ryzen 2 processors aren't going to work on the 500 series boards. And that was a little interesting, actually, because you have, I think the thing that shocked me the most was the APUs, because you have like the 3300G and the 3200G, I think. Those are actually Zen Plus processors. They're not actually the Zen 2 processors, even though they're in the 3000 series. So that means those processors actually aren't going to work on the 500 chipset boards. So I think this is going to cause the most disruption, because, you know, a lot of people, in order to save money, they'll buy the motherboard that they plan on using, and then they'll buy a cheaper processor and then hopefully upgrade the processor in the future. So if people do that, they're going to get a 500 series board with an APU processor until they can afford a graphics card and a new processor, and that's simply not going to work, you know. But hopefully the Zen 3 architecture will actually have some kind of APU, so hopefully that'll solve that problem. With the 3100 and the 3300 that just came out, we can see that AMD is aggressively targeting the lower end market. I don't even know why you would buy one of the A series processors anymore, with the Ryzen 3300 being what, $100. So anyway, those are my thoughts. It's just my opinion. Am I gonna upgrade? You know, like I said before, maybe not, it depends. So anyway, if this video was helpful to you, please like the video and subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of future videos. Thanks again.